So many of you might know that Huawei has a subsidiary and it's called Honor. And quite often what they do is they release a smartphone, or in this case a smartwatch, with very similar design and specifications. So this here is the Honor Magic Watch, a slightly cheaper variant than its bigger brother, the Huawei Watch GT. After using this watch for 2 weeks, I came to the conclusion that it's not really a smartwatch, but more like a fitness tracker in disguise. So let's get right into it. So the watch over here, the housing is made from stainless steel, there are some plastic elements and the straps are made from silicone, and it is water resistant up to 5 atmospheres. The casing is also just 9.8mm thin, and combined with the strap it's a real pleasure to wear. The display is a 1.2-inch bright AMOLED panel at 390 by 390 pixels with rich colors and a high pixel density at 326. This element over here, the display, really gave me the impression that we're talking about a full smartwatch over here. But the more I started to wear it, to use it with activities and while sleeping, etc., I came to an understanding that it's acting more like a fitness tracker. The Magic Watch is super easy in use. You can simply hold down and change the watch faces, for example. You can swipe down for the settings. You can swipe up for the notifications. And if you swipe right, you will end up with the continuous heart rate feature, the weather, or an overview of your activity progress. If you press the top button, then you're presented with an app drawer. The lower button will bring you to the activities that you can track. As you might have noticed, this watch over here is not running on Google's Wear OS, but rather their own in-house built Light OS, even though it looks a lot like Google's Wear OS. And therefore you can't really install any other kind of applications. You can only select a few given watch faces. There's also no word wrapping, so you cannot easily read the notifications, but luckily with the latest software update, app notifications now have their own icons rather than the default notification icon. Also keep in mind that you cannot reply, archive or auto-reply to any of those notifications. And scrolling just a few seconds through the menu will show you how jittery some of the animations are, and they're just not as smooth as on Google's Wear OS devices. On top of that, even though it looks more like a fitness tracker, it's lacking Strava, Google Fit or Apple Health, let's say. And to track all of your activities, you need to install Huawei's own mobile services app next to Huawei's Health app. Huawei also didn't open their OS for third-party developers to develop new content, application or watch faces. It's really up to Huawei to decide when to provide more and for how long the support will last as well. And with recent concerns from many governments regarding Huawei's independency from the Chinese government, it's also really questionable if you want to install the application and give so many permissions. As you understand, the software side isn't the best and there's still a lot of work to be done. On the hardware side, there is no Wi-Fi, no microphone, nor a speaker, and you also cannot control the music from the watch itself while running, for example. Huawei mentioned during the introduction of this watch and the Mate 20 Pro, etc., that Light OS is developed to provide a better battery life, and with a battery that is just at 178 mAh, it isn't the biggest that I've seen around. But with a thickness of just 9.8mm, you can't expect more though, and it still lasts me for around 4 to 5 days with notifications turned on, but without the 24-hour heart rate monitor. Huawei mentioned that the user time is around 7 days, but when you turn on the continuous heart rate monitor, it drops a little bit lower. The good news is though that the battery charges in no time. I went to take a shower and after 20 minutes it jumped from 16 to 46%, it's just 30%, and that is for a watch pretty good. So what does it do well? Well, GPS for example. The GPS it's tracking is super. It mapped my route precise and accurately, and this is where the software and battery really comes into play and they combine and blend in really well. The software tracks the activities well and the battery doesn't drop that fast when it's turned on. Because the battery is also charged relatively fast, it means that I can track my sleep every single night. And not only the amount of sleep or the amount of hours, but also the quality based on movement and heart rate. And this is done once again more precisely than I expected. Because the Honor Magic Watch is tracking all of its activities accurate and precisely, and the battery doesn't drop that fast while doing so, it allows you to track your sleep as well because there's still enough battery life left, making it more like a fitness tracker with smartwatch appearances rather than trying to be a companion on your wrist, what many other smartwatches try to be. It's currently retailing for around $150, and I think that you get quite some value in return, albeit that the software isn't the best yet and that there are more affordable alternatives that can offer more right now. And if you're more into smartwatches, then Apple, Samsung and many others, they can offer you so many more features, but maybe more importantly, they can offer you a huge ecosystem. And this is currently lacking with the Huawei watches, because it's closed, no third-party development, etc. And that is currently, I think, the biggest downside of this watch. So, what do you think of this watch? Is it a hit or a miss? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you have some comments, questions or remarks, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and then I hope to see all of you in the next one.